it. It's Wellness Wednesday. Good morning. Hope you're having an awesome day. I love your tie.
It looks like I don't know how to dress myself with proper matching colors.
Well, see, I have to get organized, right? Because you gotta look good.
I brought it for her, so
yeah.
She didn't really have a choice on what color it was going to be.
No.
Happy National Bow Tie Day. I know everybody's anxiously awaiting it every single year.
Now, if you haven't gotten ready for work yet and you're doing that while you're watching us.
I'm just saying.
And you know what? If everybody does it, then the bow tie will be happy.
And just look how good we look in bow ties.
Well, look how good he looks.
Maybe you guys could look half as good as us.
Maybe, if you try really hard.
Really hard?
If you do your hair nice, put a little lipstick on, you might be okay. You said I look like a Chippendale.
Doesn't she though? It's kind of true. I just kind of look like a nerd. National Bow Tie, boys and girls. Oh yeah, let me fix it
I love
you.
that guy.
How's it going?
I think we need some big green tape for you, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be a super sexy look.
You know what, As I'm watching you talk from this angle, when you're looking right at the camera, I can see how dirty your glasses are.
I know, I can't.
How can you see through those?
Because yeah, they're pretty bad.
Oh my God, hun. Seriously. Wow.
Wow.
First you're blind. Then it's dirty.
I have glasses because I can't see.
What a weird thing.
I always love when people, like when you're younger and they take your glasses off and they go, how many fingers am I holding up? Obviously, I can tell how many fingers you're holding up. Like, I'm just not like you take them off and it's black. Like,
you know what? All three of my kids wear glasses.
Really?
One was
Not you?
No,
No
I
contacts?
do. Yes, I wear glasses to see far away.
Yeah,
I don't
me too.
need reading glasses yet, but it's coming.
I can't see far away. For anything.
No?
Anything? No.
No,
nothing.
I can't either.
Nothing. Well,
it drives me crazy.
I don't know if you guys can see, but these puppies, they're not playing. Do you actually want to take it to this camera? Like, these are some crazy prescriptions. Yeah.
They're pretty thick.
Look at these. Look how thick those are.
Now, I wish I could only show you how dirty they are.
They are really dirty. I don't have my cloth on me. I didn't want to untuck my shirt
Just
and try to
spit on them, like you do when you're skidooing.
No, I will.
Come on. So, National Bow Tie Day.
National Bow Tie Day.
Yeah, keep it in mind.
More important though, National Power Rangers Day.
More important.
Don't make that face.
Power Rangers. There's you and your dolls, right? Yesterday, what was it?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Talking about Star Wars dolls, and now today he's
collector's
talking about
items.
Dolls. Dolls again.
Well, in grade 11, I went out for my collector's edition first issue. But in grade 11, me and my friends for Halloween, we went out as a different color Power Ranger, all of us. We were the talk of the school, by the way. Everyone wanted pictures. We were a pretty big deal. Either way, my friend was at camp overnight, so I couldn't get my costume. That's where it is right now. I was going to come in the full like muscle suit, red Power Ranger. All you get is a mismatched color bow tie. Sorry, I couldn't do it any better on a Wednesday.
You wouldn't have to pat it too much though, because you're so.
You're
so cut.
Yeah. Yeah, so cut.
Look at those bites.
So cut.
So cut. Absolutely.
Yeah, Breakfast of Champions. Okay.
Power Rangers Day.
Yep. There's a few more days.
Did you have a favorite Power Ranger though? Did you have a favorite doll?
Blue. I feel like you're belittling me right now.
No,
I'm feeling a little attacked right now.
I would never bully you on camera, Alex, ever. I would never do that to you.
Just off camera. Okay, well, we're gonna think.
Did you have a favorite?
A favorite? Not really. I guess it would be the Red Ranger. That's who I went out for Halloween. He's the leader.
Yeah.
He's the coolest one.
Yeah, he's the coolest one.
Yeah,
My kids like the red one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so you've seen Power Rangers.
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Rinse and repeat formula every episode.
Oh, my word.
They
Seriously.
fight, not good enough. Enemy gets big, they get big, they win.
Right?
It's a perfect formula. They always
win.
win.
You know what? The formula worked, too. Put the kids in front of the Power Rangers for a bit. Boom. Silence.
Kevin was saying they are the second longest running scripted TV show that's not a soap opera with over 900 episodes.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they still going?
They're still going.
Oh my word.
Right? Yeah, the Mighty Morphin, the original one.
Yeah. You know what? I could be the pink one, you could be the red one.
Deal.
Okay?
Deal.
Because the pink one looks like she's a girl.
Yeah, she is. And the yellow one too.
Yeah, they don't have names, they just have...
Yeah, Jason was the red one and Kimberly was the pink one.
Really?
Yep.
They
Billy
have
was
normal
blue.
names?
Zach was the black one, and Trini was the yellow one. Wow, I just impressed myself.
Whoa, you're such a nerd. You and your dolls.
And my Star Wars.
your Star Wars dolls and your Power Ranger dolls and your bow tie.
Okay, so like A-Dog's losing so much street cred right now.
A-Dog.
You might want to can this. I'm just gonna be out in the streets, like just doing my
cred.
thing, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, nice dolls, loser."
Yeah, you got to walk around with a doll in your pocket today. There you go. Awesome.
With my bow tie, my big thick glasses, and
there you go.
Now, do I play the part now?
You do. What other day is it today?
National Cherry Turnover Day.
Cherry Turnover Day. Really?
Not a big turnover guy.
No?
No.
My mother used to make them with those.
I haven't had a homemade turnover, so I guess no.
That's the difference.
Yeah, that is probably
because you get the right flaky camasava going there, and it's just the best.
Camasava?
Yes.
Ça va bien.
That's the. But you got to be careful because when they come right out of the oven, you could burn yourself so badly on hot jam.
But isn't it worth it though? You're just like, oh yes, like finally, and you're trying to breathe while it's not like sitting.
You know what you have to do though when you're eating your cherry turnover today, and it comes right out of the oven because Alex A-Dog is going to make us some. You have to.
I'll be too busy playing with my dolls actually, so we probably won't be doing that anytime soon.
You have to bite each corner of the triangle off first because there's no jam in there.
Veteran of the game.
So you don't burn yourself, and then you put it down and you just let it sit for just a second. Try and be an adult. Wipe the crumbs off yourself because you know it flakes around a little bit, and then ram the thing. They're so good.
Well, you can like bite it off and blow into like the part.
Oh, you could do that. My mom used to use those crescent rolls. You know, you bang them on the counter and they pop open.
Yep.
So good, so easy.
Were you scared ever? Bang.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I hated when it didn't go on the first one. Right? Because now you're like, okay, what's wrong?
Waiting for it?
Yeah, now you're like, go burn! Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it looks like something died and exploded in there. Yeah.
Because of the red jam?
No.
Looks like a murder scene.
It's a murder scene.
But this is also a nice day. The Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. Remembering past animals you've had that have passed away and
isn't that
moved
nice?
on. Yeah, so they're saying reflect, go look at some photos. Like,
remember how much they meant to you in your life.
But the most important day, Red Wine Day.
Woo!
I knew that would win me some points.
You know what?
And then you can say, oh no, it's not wine, it's just my cherry turnover. It's got a little bit of my shirt.
All over your face.
Yeah, lounging in your Power Ranger costume and your bow tie, remembering
big
your
spots
animals.
Of cherry
on
my shirt.
Just drinking and eating yourself into a stupor, remembering all the animals.
I'm actually bottling red wine. As we speak. Well, not as we speak.
And I'm not drinking it.
I don't drink it
It's coffee.
Yeah, I love it. I actually supplied red and white wine for the tables at my daughter's recent wedding.
But
and
not
people
at
loved
the
it.
office.
Not at the office. No.
No secret stash?
No secret stash. No, because honest to goodness, I have one glass of wine and I'm like, bleh, bleh.
No secret stash, right? Like, I shouldn't go look in the cupboards.
The bottom drawer of my desk. You should not go there.
I wouldn't.
Never go in my desk. And the brown paper bag, that's not where it is. The one that's all wrinkled and
it says not red wine on the outside of it. Oh.
A-Dog, this isn't it.
Oh, okay. Do not look. No Star Wars dolls are found in the contents of this bag.
Just the red wine. Before we get to our show, we want to say a huge thank you to KC Security. You guys are awesome. You sponsor us, and we really appreciate the support.
Thanks for keeping the lights on.
We're going to take this break. We'll come back right after this.
Time to find the wine. Woo!
Welcome to the Machine Shop, our historic venue and gathering place for friends and family. Built in 1899 on the site of a Northwest Company trading post. Today, we are a go-to venue hosting many expos, concerts, weddings, and more. While you're here, choose one of our dining experiences. Enjoy a quiet dinner at the Mill Steakhouse and Wine Bar, watch a game and try wood fire oven pizza and local draft at the Boiler Room, or treat yourself every day to gelato and local coffee at the Gelato Mill. For more information on the Machine Shop, visit machineshopinc.ca.
Hi, I'm Isabelle Rastico, and once again this year, on October 6th, I will be taking part in the CIBC Run for the Cure benefiting the Canadian Cancer Society. I'll be walking in honor of my mom, who passed away at the age of 37 of breast cancer, but also to support all the women I know who have received the same diagnosis and their families who've had to cope with it. As you know, 1 in 8 women will receive a breast cancer diagnosis in their lifetime. And although we've made great progress in increasing the survival rate after 5 years, which now stands at 87%, we still have a long way to go. Which is why I want to remind you that all proceeds generated by the CIBC Run for the Cure events held in Montreal, Quebec, Sherbrooke, Saguenay, and Val-d'Or will be reinvested right here in the province of Quebec in promising research projects, such as a 3D printer to reproduce a living tumor from women's breast cancer cells, or repairing DNA cells with a view to developing drugs that can treat aggressive and hard-to-treat breast cancers. The money raised will also help fund important support services for breast cancer patients and their families. Let's promise to make breast cancer beatable. Register today at cibcrunforthecure.com, and together, let's show the world that life is bigger than cancer.
At 4:45, discover all kinds of treasures and never pay more than $5. Inventory is restocked every Saturday, and you can find anything from electronics to household items, toys, and much, much more. On Saturday, everything is $5 and the price goes down throughout the week, ending with 25 cents on Friday. We restock weekly with new items from various big box stores, so you never know what treasures you can find. Come visit us at 4:45, 2510 Ashman Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
I am joined in the studio by Constable Terry Chitteroni from the OPP. Welcome, Terry. Welcome to ONNtv.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. We are here to talk about off-road vehicles, specifically ATVs. And the time of year is, hunting season. I mean, it's fall. People are going out in their ATVs to enjoy the beautiful fall colors. But there's some certain things that people need to be aware of as far as safety goes, right, Terry?
Yeah, definitely. And it's not that it's a heightened awareness at fall time and hunt time. However, we do see more ATVs on the trails now because there is hunt season around.
It does increase, ridership increases?
It definitely does, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk first of all, right off the bat, what are the major causes of injuries or even deaths on all-terrain vehicles?
Well, priority number one is driver experience.
Driver experience.
We're seeing someone who's just getting into hunting at an elderly age. They get onto an ATV and they haven't been on. That's probably our major factors. Okay. They don't understand what the ATV does do.
Or someone who's not an experienced driver takes a curve too fast. They're driving too fast for their abilities to handle a curve. 100%.
Yeah, and that comes with experience, right?
You got to know what you can.
You got to know what you're doing when you're on the ATV. Exactly. So, I mean, if there's a case like that, obviously, an ATV safety course for someone who doesn't have the driver experience would be fantastic.
That's what this great booklet. This great booklet. I wonder who designed this booklet. Oh, it was me at my old job, along with Monique Baker, Sergeant Monique Baker. Anyway, this booklet's available at the
OPP station.
At the OPP station. Yes. I would imagine we probably still have some at Algoma Public Health too, if you want to stop by there and pick them up. So it does say one of the first things, recommendation for fun, safe ride, is take an ATV safety course.
Exactly.
Do you know what where they offer those? I think, I don't know, Sioux College has a course, but I think that's just for their people who take the M&R course. We have to look into that.
We'll look into
Find
that.
out.
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, that would be one of our priorities. Speed is another priority.
Speed is another killer.
Which is another killer. Impairment. Obviously, drugs or alcohol.
Right.
Even fatigue. Fatigue falls under impairment as well, right?
ATV fatigue, I guess maybe you go out and you spend a longer time than you anticipated. You're coming back, the sun's setting. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, when people are hunting, the number one cause during the hunt season is wearing no helmets.
No helmets.
No helmets, because they're hunting. They want to be able to jump off the ATV quickly and maybe see their game or find their game.
You think in this day and age, we would all know enough.
Definitely, sure, right.
There's specific helmets too, right? You have to get a specifically rated helmet for your ATV.
Yes, it's mandated. It's got to be DOT approved. Yes.
And wherever you go to purchase your helmet, those people will help you get the helmet that you
100%.
Right on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we know that these are the major causes. So now when it comes to actual driver safety and tips and that sort of thing, actually let's get to that a little later. What confuses a lot of people, I think, Terry, are the actual laws around ATVs.
Right.
Okay,
right.
So let's define a highway first of all, because a lot of people think, oh, well, I can drive. It says I can drive on a highway, blah blah blah. Then they're thinking a highway being what we think is a highway, a major like Highway 17. But according to the Ministry of Transportation and the OPP, a highway is
a roadway with public access.
That's it, folks. A roadway with public access.
Yes.
All right. So a street in Sault Ste. Marie is considered a highway by the Ministry of Transportation.
It is, yes.
Okay.
So in our area, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that you were able to bring me on your show to kind of explain some of the highways that people believe as are highways that are allowed to have ATVs alongside of them.
Right.
Not on them, but they're allowed to ride alongside them.
So where do people think they can ride alongside where they really can't?
There's been a misconception out north along Highway 17.
Highway 17 North.
Highway 17 North, that is prohibited to be alongside of.
You cannot drive on the shoulder?
You cannot drive on the shoulder.
And one other thing that was interesting that we talked about was that a highway is considered from tree line to tree line.
It is considered from tree line.
So even off the road, even that sort of area beyond the shoulder, maybe a ditch area, that could be considered highway. So just keep that in mind.
Yes, exactly.
So no driving along the shoulder of the road on the highway? No.
Not along Highway 17.
No.
No. However, under the laws, it permits ATV operators to drive along the 500 series highways.
500 series. Oh, so if you're going out towards the airport, like second line, that's a 500 highway, 550 whatever.
Any 500 series highway, you're allowed to do it. And there's going to be different bylaws as well. We fall under that as well.
Yeah.
So if you're on second line, it doesn't turn into a highway till it gets out to the city limits.
Okay.
So that's where that kind of falls under place. So you have to know your laws before you go out there.
You gotta know where you're riding.
You got to know where you're riding, 100%. And one of the things we do as policing is not just enforce laws. We provide information to the public as well.
All right.
Some of them don't know. They don't know where they are, and that's what we're doing right here. We're providing information for operators who are on ATVs and believe, because they've heard the new laws being changed that you can ride along certain highways. Oh, I can ride along any highway.
Right.
Well, that's not in fact. So we have to make sure that the public is aware of that.
And then we're here. We are in Sault Ste. Marie, and we're surrounded by townships. Some of them organized and some unorganized. So, like Prince Township, Echo Bay, these kinds of places. Those municipalities are going to have their own bylaws.
Yes, and don't get those. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah, go.
Don't get those confused, because if you're on the highway, that's a provincial highway.
Okay.
When you enter and you go on a township street, that's where those rules will change.
So if I'm on Walls Road as opposed to the 550 whatever,
exactly,
I'm going to have a different. And so there's a driver's responsibility.
That's right.
To research the bylaws in the area in which they are planning on riding.
Exactly.
So just get on your computer and just Google your bylaws for ATV, and won't take you 5 minutes, and you'll stay on the right side of the law.
Exactly. Hopefully.
And hopefully. And also you'll stay on the right side of safety, because the laws are there for safety.
That's right.
All right, so crossing a highway. This is a big one. People think they can just cross the highway. If you're 15 years old and you're riding in your field and you decide to go across the highway, no.
No, and the laws apply as the same. If you're riding along a highway, you need to be at least 16 years old as an operator.
So you can't be on the shoulder unless you are
16 years old, and you have a minimum of a G2 or an M2 license. Those are the operator laws for you to be alongside a highway that you're allowed to be traveling on.
All right.
to cross a highway, so if you come from a bush trail and you need to go across a highway, which is a roadway, which is a public access road, you need to be at least 16 years old with an M2 or G2 license to cross that highway.
And insurance.
And you need insurance.
The only time you don't need insurance is when you're on your own property.
When you're on your own property. As soon as
You go
leave
off
the
your property, you have to have insurance.
Exactly, yes.
All right. Now, can you cross the highway with a young person on the vehicle with you?
That's a great question. So it's a great question. So if you're on a Crownland trail, a bush trail, let's call it a bush trail,
Right on.
you can have a passenger under the age of 8 years old.
You can.
You can.
Okay.
However, if you're going to cross that highway, you cannot have a passenger under the age of 8 years old when you're going to cross a highway or you drive alongside.
It does get tricky.
It does get tricky on that one.
So what you are expected to do, just so we're clear, you're going to leave your vehicle on one side of the road. You're going to safely take your child across that roadway, get them on the other side, and then you're going to bring your vehicle over.
Yes.
Because
Under law.
Under the law, yes. Okay. Because it would be a terrible thing if you happen to be crossing on the highway with your child on an ATV and you were to get hit.
Yes, and for
At least if you're walking, you can see what's coming.
And there's lots of simple reasons for that as well, right? You have a young child and they do slip off in the bushway.
All right.
It's not a big deal.
So let's talk about just now. Let's talk general safety tips.
Yes.
We know you have to have the helmet. Now it's fall season. People might be going out to hunt. Things can happen. You're in the bush.
Yes.
Got to be prepared.
You have to be prepared, and that's the one thing. I mean, people are going greater distances because they're going for game. They might get on a trail and they want to go further out into the open to find their game. We recommend that the number one priority is to make sure you're letting someone know where you are going to go.
That's a good rule for anybody, anytime.
It is.
Tell them where you're going.
It's a priority. Number two, have a survival kit with you.
Absolutely.
Making sure that you've got warm clothing, you've got fire, you've got water, you've got supplies to maybe for meals, some sort of maybe it's called an SOS spot.
Oh yeah, or a flare or something.
A flare, GPS. Just make sure that you have something that if you do get stuck in the bush overnight, that you have something to take care of yourself and your passenger, not just for yourself.
Great. Hunters tend to go out sometimes in gangs, and you go, as you were saying, you take your child out for a ride, you go with your wife and kids, whatever, for a ride. Different scenario from when you're going out to spend a couple nights in the bush with either the guys or the girls and you're going hunting. Sometimes there's substances involved, alcohol, perhaps other things, but alcohol, drugs, whatever. What do we have to be careful of?
It's the main factor, impairment. Guys are at hunt camp, they're having a good time with their buddies, and that's the one thing that we see that heightens.
Hey, let's go for a late night hunt. No,
exactly.
Not if you've been using any kind of substance. Don't do it.
Exactly.
And don't separate and get lost. Tell your buddies where you're going. And if I'm not back by this time, come look for me.
Exactly. Give them a time when you should be back.
Have a plan. Have a plan. And if you want more information, you know where to find the OPP. You can find these booklets at the OPP and at Algoma Public Health. You can go online. We're going to put a thing up on. There's a what do you call that? A link. There's a link, and it goes to the Ministry of Transportation website, and that will also give you all the ATV information you could possibly need. So stay safe, Terry. Again. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us. You're welcome back anytime.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
And we'll come back with more mornings with Luann and Tim right after this.
Have a great business idea but don't know where to start? Need help taking your business to the next level? C2C Business Services can be your guide in navigating the path of entrepreneurship, with services ranging from grant funding support, access to service experts, market information, and helping your business adopt new technologies to create and foster a culture of innovation for ongoing success. Call C2C Business Services and let them be your first step in taking your entrepreneurial dreams from concept to commerce. C2C Business Services is a division of the Sault Ste. Marie Innovation Center.
stopping at nothing, I'm up in your face, shaking it off, no matter the cost. I'm feeling the wind, I'm taking it all, I'm paving the way with the sweat and the blood. I'm at the top, rising above. I want the gold, give me the rush, Queen Midas. I got the touch. I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing. 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 I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing.
Housed in a 15,000 square foot custom manufacturing facility built to produce world-class cabinetry at surprisingly affordable prices, Great Lakes Fine Cabinetry brings your project from initial concept to final design. Proudly providing Northern Michigan and the Algoma region with quality hand-built cabinetry for the past 20 years. Located at 844 East 3 Mile Road, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, Great Lakes Fine Cabinetry, making your cabinetry dreams come true.
I'm so mad.
Why?
That exact shot right there. When
Yes.
I was down by the boardwalk getting shots. I'm like, oh my god! I've been thinking of like a new shot to intro to have a bumper shot for the morning show.
Yeah.
It's already been done. I literally shot it. It's the exact same shot. Mike,
maybe
did you-
that's it.
If Mike got that shot, no, it's not. It's
No?
not. Mike, you had a good idea because I thought the exact same thing.
He says he can't remember.
Oh, okay.
In
well,
my ear, he's saying, I don't know if it was me or not.
it wasn't me because mine's still in my folder. But fine.
Good thought, though.
Yeah. Well, good
Here-
thought for nothing.
Well, I appreciate your effort.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate your appreciation.
You know how in the summertime, you always hear, like everybody thinks, woohoo, it's summer, we wait so long for it, out on the water. There are unfortunately always some tragedies that we have to tell you about, especially in the news world. This is very, very tragic. Kevin
Yeah.
O'Leary from Shark Tank, right?
And Dragon's Den, if you like the
Dragon's
Canadian
Den.
version.
Yeah. He was a passenger in the Muskokas on a boat, and a man was killed after a collision with another boat. So apparently what happened was a 64-year-old from Florida was on a boat. There was a collision. He was killed. Another woman, 48-year-old, is in hospital in with critical injuries in the Aurelia area, Muskoka area.
Yeah, and I believe Kevin O'Leary's wife was driving the boat. They administered her breathalyzer.
Oh.
And she passed.
Oh, good.
They're completely cooperating with authorities.
Yes.
But Kevin O'Leary also said that the other boat coming and that they collided with, no lights on.
No lights on, so they couldn't see him, obviously, and then fled the scene. But Kevin O'Leary is saying that. The other boat driver is saying Kevin O'Leary's boat left.
I think it would be kind of hard for the other boat to leave, though, with an injury and a fatality.
Unless the fatality was on Kevin O'Leary's boat. Right? I wonder if they got
I'm not
thrown
sure.
into the water.
There's a picture of his boat right there, yeah.
My gosh, look at that gorgeous
Such a
thing.
nice
Oh
boat.
my
Calls it the bat
gosh.
boat.
He calls it the bat boat?
I believe that's what the caption says.
That's funny. Yeah, so tragic. You know, just out having a good time.
Be safe on the waters, everybody. Enjoy the last little glimpse of summer we have, but make sure to do it safely.
Be safe. It's so hard to talk about these things, and it seems like, you know, we have to do it every fall, every end of summer. We
Right.
sort of get stats from the OPP about how many people have died in the water, drowning, and these kinds of situations. Happy to hear. Allegedly, she blew clear on that breathalyzer
Yes,
test.
that is
His
what the
wife.
reports are saying.
That's
She was the one
awesome.
driving, so good.
Good.
That is a great example. Keep that up.
Imagine though her guilt. Oh,
I couldn't
my
imagine. I could not
gosh.
imagine.
I would feel so horrible.
But like, according to what we know so far,
Yeah.
this isn't her fault. Like,
Right. Yeah.
turn your lights on at nighttime.
Wow.
Even like running lights on your car, even when it's just getting a little dark.
Something,
Huge pet
right?
peeve. Please turn your lights
Yeah,
on.
especially on the highways, right? Obviously, they didn't see each other.
And what I hate is when it's getting dark and people have like a black car with
Yes.
no lights.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. It's so, especially at that time, it's almost like
Right.
like the shadows are all weird and stuff. Yeah, so be very, very careful out there. You know what I was just thinking too? I wonder if the other boat saying that they had no lights on, I wonder if his excuse is that he didn't see O'Leary's boat because they were lit up like a Christmas tree apparently.
Really?
So it's hard not to put a judgment on that. We're still waiting. The investigation is ongoing, and he's being very classy about it.
Yes.
He's saying he doesn't want to comment. He feels very, very badly for the families, but because it's still an ongoing investigation, he doesn't want to talk about it. So.
Yeah, a complete 180 from the character Kevin O'Leary you see on TV. So you know that when he's absolutely chirping somebody and calling them maggots, that he does have a little bit of a heart still in there.
Yeah, he has a bit of a heart. And then on this story at the end, they had online a picture of him while he was on the show. He started talking about his family, and he actually started crying. He was very emotional about it, and like you said, I almost had to stop watching the show because he's such a crank.
I love Kevin O'Leary.
Really? He hurts my stomach. I'm like, why are you being so mean?
It's just kind of the character.
Yeah,
I think people know when they go that they're putting themselves on the line for that. But when they could get like $6-digit dollars, they're probably like, you can chirp me a
call me
little bit.
whatever you want to call me.
Yeah, I think it's maggot. I think that's his go-to.
Yeah, his maggot. Not good. Yeah, anyway, stay with us because on the morning show with A-Dog and I, we're going to do the news coming up right after this commercial break.
Every kid knows the power of a wish. That's why I'm here for Make-A-Wish, to help you find money you can donate. Grandmas are a great source of free money. All you gotta do is visit them once in a while.
It's about time! Here's your birthday card, next year's card, last year's card, money for the motion picture. Give me a hug!
If I can find ways to raise money to grant a kid's wish, you can too.
I love women. I love older women, professional women, stay-at-home moms. I love how women put the family first. I love how you're so concerned that I'll get to your husband. You have no idea that I'm coming after you.
Make death wait. Please donate to fund life-giving research, because heart disease and stroke is the #1 killer of women.
Hey folks, hey listen, the SPCA's got something going. I think it's terrific. No hot pets, that's what it's called. You know what it's for? It's for dummies that leave their pets in the car. If you see this and you're walking by and you see a pet in a hot car roasting away, the windows up, you call the police or call the SPCA and they'll have somebody there quick. Don't let our pets die in the car. Get involved.
Is ripping up an agreement with First Nations on building road access to the Ring of Fire region in favor of pursuing individual deals with the 9 communities, saying the move will speed up development of the mining project. To that, Ontario's Minister of Energy, Northern Development and Mines, Greg Rickford, announced yesterday that the new approach will mean the government can address specific community needs and opportunities with First Nation communities. Greg Rickford, along with Sioux MPP Ross Romano and Noront Resources President and CEO Alan Coutts, were in the Sioux yesterday to announce that Noront has signed memorandums of understanding with First Nations communities in the Ring of Fire area. Noront Resources, a mining company based in Toronto, announced in May that the Sioux would be home to the new ferrochrome production facility located on property at Algoma Steel. The plant will be used to process chrome ore deposits gathered from the Ring of Fire, which will then be made into ferrochrome to be sold in stainless steel markets in the U.S. At a press conference at Algoma Steel, Rickford said that Noront is also in talks with Algoma Steel on the terms of the company's tenancy for the construction and operation of the planned FPF, which would be located adjacent to the steelmaking operation on Algoma Steel property. Algoma Steel CEO Michael McQuaid explained that Noront will pay a tenancy fee for being on the steel plant's property, helping the plant dollarize the value of their excess land. The construction of the FPF project will create about 1,500 jobs, and the plant will employ around 300 to 500 people once it's actually up and running. The Ring of Fire project is set to start production in 2025, with the completion of the ferrochrome plant in 2028. Coast Guard Sector Sault Ste. Marie responded to a report of an oil sheen near a sunken 33-foot towing vessel in Northport Bay, Michigan yesterday. At about 7:48 in the morning, the U.S. Coast Guard received a report that the towing vessel Rawhide sunk. Local first responders reported an oil sheen near the vessel. Coast Guard pollution responders oversaw the placement of a containment boom around the vessel. The majority of the oil sheen was contained within the boom, but the portion of oil outside of the boom was dissipating due to the weather and to wave action. The owner of the towing vessel plans to commence salvage operations to refloat the vessel and pump off any remaining pollutants today when the weather is more favorable. The Coast Guard will continue to oversee the owner's cleanup and the salvage of the vessel. Pollution responders continue to endeavor to work with the owner of the vessel to determine the maximum potential pollution release. It's been determined that at the time of the sinking, the vessel was at anchor and no one was on board. Tropical storm Dorian threatened Puerto Rico with a direct hit today. As forecasters said, it made a last-minute shift in its path and could reach near hurricane strength in its approach to the U.S. territory.
Dorian is currently located a few hundred miles southeast of Puerto Rico. It's moving northwestward and will likely pass near or over that island on Wednesday.
Así que lo importante es que sepan que las agencias están listas y que estamos mejor preparados que cuando nosotros tuvimos ante nuestro ataque a nuestra isla del huracán María.
Once it passes over Puerto Rico, moves into the Atlantic, and there's some very warm waters near the Bahamas. It could allow it to strengthen again close to. It'd probably lose a little intensity moving over Puerto Rico, but then regain it over the next day or two, and could be approaching a hurricane intensity as it gets nearer to the southeastern U.S. Move on off to the east of the Turks and Caicos and southeast Bahamas, and then there's uncertainty about beyond that time. It'll probably be approaching the U.S. East Coast, some portion of the southeast U.S. coast or Florida coast here. On the weekend.
A government spokesperson said yesterday that Canada is forging ahead with trade talks with the South American Mercosur trading bloc, hoping to push Brazil to better protect the critical Amazon rainforest. The talks are continuing despite Brazil's initial rejection of international funding to help fight those fires in the Amazon, apparently over a personal spat with France's President Emmanuel Macron. Canada began trade negotiations last year with the 4 full members of the Mercosur group, including Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. There have been 6 rounds of talks, most recently in June. Environment groups last week asked the federal government to abandon those talks in a bid to force Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro to end the rapid deforestation experts are saying is partly to blame for the record number of fires burning in the Amazon this year. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh said yesterday that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is putting the interests of rich corporations ahead of the fight against climate change by continuing free trade negotiations with President Bolsonaro. A spokesperson for International Trade Minister Jim Carr said the talks will continue because they are committed to diversifying their trading partners, but that trade is not the only thing on the agenda.
I promise to kick breast cancer's.
I promise to support my mom. I promise our team will always be there.
I promise to run.
Together, our promises can make breast cancer beatable. Sign up for the Canadian Cancer Society CIBC Run for the Cure. What do you wish for? A nice life? Nice things? Or do you wish for something more? A sense of purpose? Do you wish to discover a cure? To write code that cracks an unsolvable question? To further our exploration into space? Or to invent something that changes everything right here on Earth? Well, if that's your wish, make yourself ready. Because when you look back, you'll see that you didn't just make wishes, you realized them.
Breast cancer mortality rates have decreased by 44%. And I'm one of those, actually.
Nowadays, we're seeing much more survivors, and I know that we are making a difference by raising funds for the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation.
Telling you earlier this week about the VMAs and how it's always such an extravaganza, and a large part of that is the fashion, and some people, boy, they just take some chances. Also though, Taylor Swift is sort of back in the headlines today because when she accepted her her award, she got very political, and she talked about how it's time for the lack of discrimination to become more prominent, and it's time, she said, for the White House to act. And then she went like this, looking at her watch. So the White House responded. Judd Deere, who works at the White House, said that the Trump administration opposes discrimination. Unless, of course, you're the child of an immigrant. Unless, of course, you are an immigrant or a refugee, or so it's interesting. Something else though that happened with Taylor, this is so weird, totally off topic in a way. John Travolta made the big presentation. He's known for messing names up at these awards shows, and he actually commented to that subject, so he and swore. He said, I should not be doing this because I always F it up. Then, after he announced that Taylor Swift won the award, what he did was he went to hand the award to a drag queen who is dressed like Taylor Swift.
That's way worse than just messing up a name.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Steve Harvey's at home like, yes! Yes! Not me this time.
Can you imagine? You should have seen the person who was dressed as Taylor. You should have seen the face. It was just like
appalled.
Just like kind of didn't know. Should I take it? I can't take it. It's official. I can't. Just totally. John, stay home next year.
Yeah.
If they ask you to be a presenter, say no thanks.
Just dance on some tables, sing some songs.
Yeah.
You look good with your bald head, and just no more award shows.
I don't even find he looks good with his bald head.
Yeah, I think he looks sophisticated.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, I might be a little biased.
Well,
though.
yeah, but you have a nice bald head.
Oh,
he's got a.
John Travolta's a poof. He's huge. He looks the part.
Yeah, whatever. Too bad he can't, figure out who Taylor Swift is.
Yeah, he can't read.
Oops. Oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. Who's coming up?
Luis from Cannabis and the Workplace here. Because once cannabis got legalized, tons of questions, employers, employees. So she's here to set it straight, lay it on the line for us and let us know what we can do, what we can't do, maybe some things to keep in mind.
Awesome, and that's coming up right after this.
If you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, there is hope and there is help. You matter. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The calls are free and confidential. Call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. You are not alone.
And with cannabis still in the infancy stages of being legalized in Canada, so many questions, but we've got an expert here to kind of set us straight, as I said before the break. So Luis, thank you so much for coming in. And we had a great conversation in the green room before we came in. We were discussing so many different things. But firstly, how did you get even involved in doing a presentation like this to employers and employees?
I've been teaching health and safety for over 20 years.
Oh, so this is pretty familiar.
So the whole workplace thing is pretty familiar, and was watching some of the changes that were coming up and decided that it's important for employers to know some of the implications, have questions. It certainly fits with occupational health and safety. So it was an easy decision.
And when it became legal, was this something that you said, you know what, this is something that the public's going to have questions about and I want to make a presentation to help, or how did this really formulate?
Absolutely. So it's always staying one step ahead of what the questions might be, and it fits in with the type of businesses in the community that I support and the types of questions that they might have. Pretty much any business is going to be affected by this legislation.
Right. And what sort of topics are people really coming with questions about, and what things do you really hit home for during these presentations?
I like people to have an understanding of the legislation and it's where it comes from.
Right.
There's federal legislation and then every province has its own. And I then specifically talk about the implications with the Occupational Health and Safety Act, because that's the health and safety perspective.
Of course.
And in federal workplaces, there's also Canada Labour Code Part 2. But I also I set the stage with how does this affect our bodies? So I want people to understand the health side of it, and that's where my nursing comes in.
Of course.
That I'm able to explain it, and I needed to understand it, so that's where I had to start before I could understand the implications and how this is going to affect people at work.
Absolutely, and we did have a graphic that came up on screen talking about the next presentation you have. Can you tell us a little bit about when it is, where it is, how people can get involved?
So our next presentation, partnering with Millworks Center for Entrepreneurship, and we're doing it on September 19th at 8 a.m. You can register by going to our website. You can call me, you can email me, and we'll get you registered registered. It's from 8 till 12. You get this great book. So we've got this for you. So there's good handouts. We've got infographic for you as well. And of course, anytime anyone's got questions, I'm available by email. I always tell my customers, if sometimes it's going to take you an hour to figure it out, just send me a quick email and I'll do what I can.
And you might go home after and kind of sit on it and have a few more questions that kind of run through your mind.
Exactly.
So, right. And I actually went to cover one of these events, one of the presentations one time, and it's such a nice setting. It's so open and you can see the people asking so many questions and just not afraid to do that at all, which is perfect. So you also have a few other services that you were coming in to talk about as well. Can you tell us about that? I was checking out your website. By the way, it is a fantastic website. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
I'll let you go ahead.
Shout out to Miramar. They did a great job. I've been teaching health and safety for, like I said, over 20 years. So I do a lot with joint health and safety committees. I'm approved by the Ministry of, actually approved by the Chief Prevention Officer. That's the official approval. And so I can teach certification training. I've just received approval for the refresher training, so that's also going to launch this month. I teach lots of confined space training and slip, trips and falls. Violence and harassment is another really timely topic, and it fits in with some of the cannabis as well. So it's the hardcore, the ladders and the slips and falls, and then the softer issues, and it's the nursing background that allows me to do it. But it's all about people at work and keeping them safe at work, healthy at work.
And with cannabis in play now too, I'm sure there's going to be a few misconceptions on how people can consume depending on their job types. What would you say is the biggest misconception people usually come to you with?
People really don't understand why there's so much hype. If I'm smoking on the weekend, what does it matter on Monday morning? Mm-hmm. And so that's where we delve into the courses for the workers and the supervisors in terms of, if somebody's using on Friday, they may still be impaired on Monday morning. Everyone's different. Mm-hmm. No two people are going to react the same way because of our bodies, because of how they use, how often they use. And so it's not like having a couple of beer on Friday night or even Sunday night and going to work Monday morning. There are too many variables, and we don't fully understand them yet.
Right, like you say, it affects everybody differently, body size, receptors. It could be a million different other things.
Exactly.
So does anything that you tell to your guests when they come to the presentation really take them back or take them by surprise at all?
I think the people are very concerned about drug testing and can I get in trouble at work? If I need this for work? So medical cannabis, certainly authorization is a big topic of discussion, and it's really important on the employer side to understand that. If your employee has authorization for medical cannabis, it doesn't mean that they can come to work impaired. So it's a tricky one to maneuver, but one that has to be done keeping workers safe, keeping other workers safe, and it really matters what kind of job it is. If somebody's driving a piece of heavy equipment versus somebody's in the office and it's your accountant, your accountant can make some adding mistakes, but isn't going to kill somebody. Whereas your people out on the heavy equipment driving on the highway, they can.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to explain the crumbs in your keyboards from snacking at your office desk. Then whatever could go wrong driving heavy machinery.
So it's really quite a big issue, and it has to be looked at in all of those terms. So we call those safety sensitive positions.
Right.
So it's those safety sensitive positions where you need to make decisions. You have to have memory. You have to be able to quickly decide whether to turn right, turn left, stop, proceed, and all of those things can be affected by not only cannabis but other medications as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's why we call it a fit for duty policy. So you need to be basically clean and able to do your job and well rested and make sure that you're safe. The other thing we do in those courses is teach employers how to assess someone, right? Are they acting differently? Are they stumbling? Are they slurring their words? And that might be a medical issue, not necessarily a drug issue. So know your employees and be in tune with what's going on with them.
Absolutely. We are running a bit out of time, but before I let you go, I want to know a little bit about, for parents at home, like you're talking to parents, you're talking to grandparents, like you said, the neighbors, the aunts and uncles.
They're in my classes.
Yeah, to take these conversations home and do them in the right way with their child, what would be the best way to go about approaching it?
Be open, be honest, go to the Ontario Cannabis site, go to the Health Canada site. There's excellent factual information, and that's how kids are going to listen. I have real concerns with the developing brain, and I always mention that in my class as well. It's different than a 40-year-old using than a teenager, but it's also amount. Get the information, have a discussion at the dinner table. It's great.
I know, and some kids will always say, oh yeah, you think you know that, well, I'll just use Google, ask Google, and you'll get the answers. But that's exactly what you're encouraging, right?
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
There's so much more in store at these presentations. Like I said, I've went to them, I know how they work, and they went immaculate. They went amazing. So make sure, if this is something that interests you, get online, check it out, and make sure you know your stuff. But Louise, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
This was a great conversation, and there will be more morning show right after this.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
It's not always this obvious when young people need help. For 30 years, we've shown up for youth. With your donation, you can too.
What will your last 10 years look like? Will you be quick enough for a game of tag with your grandchild? Strong enough to embrace every moment? Will you grow old with vitality? Or get old with disease? It's time to decide. The average Canadian will spend their last 10 years in sickness. Change your future at makehealthlast.ca.
It's starting out.
Welcome back to the morning show. We're just about to send you home, but we couldn't do it without the thanks of KC Security.
Thank you so much, guys, for supporting us and sponsoring the morning show. We certainly appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys showing up every morning, too. Thanks for that.
They do 2 patrols here in the morning, and somebody left the window open last night. So we had a text in the morning saying, hey, close those windows, be safe. But that's why. We feel so much safer when they do that.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much. And thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm not stupid. I wouldn't drink and drive. She relies on me. They're counting on me. I'd never put them in danger. But I did. And it cost me everything.
Impaired boating is impaired driving.